What's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And with this episode, we are talking Insecure, Season 5, Episode 4, titled Faulty Okay. And we are coming up on the middle of this season. Hopefully we get 10 episodes like we did for Season 4, because I really don't want the show to end. I am enjoying it for the most part. And just to let you know, this is going to be a spoiler-filled reaction. It's going to be very brief. I'm going to spoil it up, down, left, right, in, and out, as if you've already seen it. And also, just want to let you know, in just a few minutes, at 10 p.m. CST on this channel, so make sure you subscribe, I'm going to be going live with my guest, Miss Tyra, with Reviewz TV. We're going to be breaking down this episode, full spoilers, like I said. We do this every week. You see, there we are right there on episode 3, episode 2, and episode 1. So come through 10 p.m. CST to make sure you break it down with us so we can talk about this episode live. So last episode, it was focused on Condola and Lawrence, or them trying to adjust their lives with the baby. But now we're focusing back on Nathan, Molly, and also Issa. And at the end of the episode, it looks like they're together. And I don't know how I feel about that. I like that they're being together at the end of episode 4 and not the end of episode 8 or 10 at the end of this season, because I don't know how happy I would be if that's how the show ended. And so with them ending this episode, with them being together, I think that's possibly a strong indicator that they won't be together at the end of this season. I'm hoping they won't. So that opens the door for Lawrence. It also opens the door for Daniel. And between those two, I really don't care who she ends up with, but I just don't know how I feel about it with Nathan. But starting out the beginning of the episode, they're on the beach trying to have fun. He's trying to host. I forgot the name of that comedian, the black guy. Ryan Davis, that's his name. He's funny to me. I follow him on Instagram. I've seen a few, and Facebook really, and I've seen a few of his posts on social media. Funny guy, and I'm glad that he was an addition to this episode. But as we know, the last episode 2 ended with Issa crying in Nathan's mouth. Very awkward, very weird. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. If I was Nathan, I probably would have left too. And Issa just doesn't know how to handle the situation. Everything that she was doing was just cringy as F. I'm just like, my goodness. He was like, hey, what's good? She was like, I'm fine. How are you? And oh, the weather's nice out here. And I'm just like, man, Issa is crashing and burning, and I don't know. And to be honest with you, while those was kind of funny and I did laugh, there was some moments that I did not think were funny in this episode, with them just trying to land jokes or just seeming genuine, and it really just didn't seem genuine to me. For example, when the beach, it got shut down because of the earthquake, and they wanted to, they didn't want a tsunami to hit the beach, and they wanted to evacuate so everybody's safe, so they moved the festivities to the bar. Well, when that Mike Jones song came on, everybody was like, oh, and Nathan was like, oh, that's that H-Town joint. Just that right there. I was just like, bro, it just doesn't seem like you're being yourself right now. Even when his brother came in later, they were like, oh, what's up, yo, bro? None of that seemed genuine. It just seemed like they were trying to act, and I was just kind of looking at it. I was like, this is kind of weird to me. It's kind of clocking me out the episode, and it wasn't I enjoyed myself, but it wasn't my favorite episode, because I don't want it to seem like I'm just hating on Nathan, but he just isn't my favorite character, or at least he's just not somebody that I want to see with Issa in the very end. So with it focusing on him, it just, it wasn't my cup of tea. But going back to the beach, it's just kind of funny seeing the women coming in. They're like, oh, it's a buffet of dudes up in here. It's like Costco. And Molly is just like, hey, let's not choose just right now. Both of these gentlemen are in the running to see me next tonight. We just have to see which one disqualifies themselves. And of course, there's truth to that, when it comes to women. And it's just kind of funny seeing that play out, throughout this episode. And I do like the fact that Kelly was able to mix not Molly, but Issa drink, talking about she needs to loosen up. She was able to bring in a lot of life and energy into this episode. A character that I'm really not that fond of, because I just kind of think that she's just wild and all over the place. Just a little bit too much. I mean, we all have that friend that, acts a little crazy. That's, the standout in the group, a little outlandish, and we love them to death. you know, and but sometimes you gotta, you know, kind of tailor that back a little bit. So, you know, I can relate, we all can relate because we have a friend like that in the family, in, you know, our circle of friends. And, you know, that is Kelly, but, you know, she was cool in this episode right here. But going back to Molly, I was just kind of laughing at her. Because she was like, hey, you know, she was flirting with the dude too, going back to the bar. You know, I'm hitting the mic, he had the tattoo on his arm, and she, you know, playing with it and flirting with him and stuff. And she's like, hey, you want to roll with me later? And this dude talking about, yeah, I got to go let my cat out. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? That's just funny. And she's like, this dude is focusing on the wrong cat. And I'm just like, man, you know, and so, yeah, I don't, you know, he was tripping, and they end up going, she ends up going with the other guy. But I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about the conversation in the car earlier on in the episode between Ryan Davis, Nathan, and the other friend in the back, where they was like, hey, how would you feel? He was like, hey, how would you feel if I dated your girl's girl? He was like, man, Issa is not my girl. She's all over the place. You know, she called me over to cuddle, you know, and all that whole conversation. Because, I mean, I feel him, you know, I'm just, even though I'm saying he's not my favorite character, I probably would have reacted the same way he did, you know. And what was he supposed to do? What can he do? You know, he handled it well. He's, you know, they used to say that they was texting throughout the week. And, you know, when she did come up to him, he was speaking. She was the one making it weird and awkward and not able to communicate. And so I'm just curious, and you know, how you guys feel about how he handled that. But I also want to know how y'all felt about the confrontation, you know, between him and his brother. You know, at the very end, you know, he told Issa at the very end of the episode that when he was staying with him, that he was manic, and you know, they didn't know. Of course, I think that he should tell them. But it's really unfortunate that they didn't have the line of communication open, that he felt that he had to lie and say that it was his spouse, it was his wife, that didn't feel comfortable with him being there when it was really him. You know, me and my brother, we argue all the time, but I hope it's never to a point to where he has to lie to me because he just doesn't, you know, want to hurt my feelings or whatever. But actually, now that I think about it, I don't have to worry about that. That guy is honest with me all the time. And, you know, regardless of my feelings. And so that's what's up right there. But, you know, how are y'all feeling about this? We're 4 episodes in. Is this your favorite episode? What was your favorite episode? And I just want this to be brief because I'm going to dive into this deep. But like I said, at 10 p.m. CST with Struggle Reviewz TV Tower. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and check us out at that time. But guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and help me reach 35,000 subscribers. And again, guys, I'm doing an experiment right now from now until the end of the year, just trying to see how much audience engagement will push out the video for the YouTube algorithm. So anytime you leave a comment, watch a video twice, share it, thumbs up, any of that, you know, that is counted as audience engagement and does push the video out. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.